Imagine this. You're driving home after a long day. Maybe it's late. Maybe you're thinking about dinner, your family, or just getting off the road and onto the couch. Then suddenly your rearview mirror lights up red and blue. Your stomach drops. You pull over, trying to stay calm. But when someone walks up to your window, it's not local police. It's ICE. Your heart rate spikes. Your mouth goes dry. Your thoughts scatter. And in that exact moment, when your brain is racing and your body is flooded with adrenaline, that's when people make the 5 mistakes that turn a routine stop into a life-altering disaster. In this video, I'm going to break down the 5 traps officers count on during traffic and immigration-related encounters, and I'll give you the exact words you can use to protect yourself. Not complicated legal jargon, not internet myths. Clear, simple statements that preserve your rights. And the last trap? It's the one people get wrong all the time, even when they think they're doing everything perfectly. Let's get into it. The first trap is what I call the roadside debate. When people feel scared or targeted, the natural reaction is to argue. You might feel the urge to say, "You're profiling me," or "You can't stop me," or "This is illegal," or "You don't have authority to do this." Here's the hard truth. The side of the road is not a courtroom. You are not going to win a constitutional argument standing on asphalt with traffic flying by. You're not going to cross-examine anyone next to your driver's side door. And the moment you escalate verbally, the encounter escalates psychologically. Once conflict starts, an officer's mindset often shifts into control and safety mode. Now they're no longer just processing a stop. They're managing what they perceive as resistance. Your tone becomes the focus. Your attitude becomes the narrative. Every movement starts looking suspicious. That doesn't mean you agree. It doesn't mean you surrender your rights. It means you survive the moment and fight later, in the proper forum. So what do you do instead? You control your body language. You keep your hands visible. You speak calmly. You keep your words short. You are not there to win the argument. You are there to protect yourself. If you're driving, in most places, you are required to provide your driver's license and registration during a lawful stop. Don't turn a simple identification requirement into an additional charge. If you're a passenger, the rules can vary depending on jurisdiction, but generally you do not have a duty to answer questions, and you often do not have to provide identification unless there is a specific legal basis requiring it. However, once a vehicle is stopped, everyone inside is considered seized for the duration of that stop. That means passengers cannot simply step out and walk away casually. It doesn't work that way. Instead of arguing, say this calmly: "Officer, I will comply with lawful instructions, but I am not answering questions." That sentence does 2 powerful things. It shows you are not resisting physically, and it clearly limits verbal engagement. You are cooperating with lawful commands, but you are not volunteering information. That's how you handle trap number 1. Trap number 2 is the small talk trap, and it's more dangerous than it looks. It starts friendly. "Where are you coming from? Where are you headed? Who does this car belong to? Anything in the vehicle I should know about? Where were you born? What's your legal status?" These questions are delivered casually, conversationally, sometimes even politely, and most people answer because silence feels awkward, because we're trained to respond when authority figures ask questions, because being quiet feels rude, because we want to look cooperative. But understand why these questions are being asked. There are generally 3 reasons. First, to catch inconsistencies. When you're nervous, your brain doesn't function normally. Stress disrupts memory retrieval and clear speech. You might misspeak. You might contradict yourself. Even innocent people do this under pressure. Those small inconsistencies can then be used to justify prolonging the stop. Second, to obtain admissions. This is especially relevant in immigration-related encounters. If someone says, "I wasn't born here, but," that statement can become significant. Or in other contexts, "I only had 1 beer," or "I was just leaving the bar." Admissions create legal hooks. Third, to stretch time. Questions buy officers time to decide what to do next, whether to call additional units, bring in a K-9, or expand the investigation. The longer the stop lasts, the more risk you assume. So what's your strategy? You become a broken record. Calmly and politely say, I am exercising my right to remain silent, or simply, I plead the fifth. Short, clear, direct. You do not need a law school dissertation. You do not need to recite the entire Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution. Courts recognize plain language. I plead the fifth is widely understood and powerful. And here's what may happen next. Some officers will respect it immediately. Others may try to provoke you. So you're refusing to cooperate? Why are you making this harder than it has to be? Only guilty people won't answer questions. Those are not legal arguments. Those are psychological pressure tactics. Your job is not to react emotionally. Your job is to repeat your statement. I plead the fifth. No anger, no sarcasm, no debate, just repetition. Remember, anything you say can be used later. Silence, properly invoked, cannot be twisted into an admission. Now let's talk about trap number 3, the consent trap. This one is subtle. You wouldn't mind if I take a quick look, right? So you're okay with me checking the car? If you've got nothing to hide, why not let me search? These questions are designed to sound harmless. They're framed in a way that makes refusal feel suspicious. But here's the problem. Sloppy answers create consent. If someone asks, you wouldn't mind, right? And you say, no, that can be interpreted as you do not mind, meaning you consent. If you say, yes, that can also be interpreted as agreement. Ambiguity benefits the officer, not you. So remove ambiguity entirely. Say this, I do not consent to searches. That sentence cannot be twisted. It is clear. It is direct. It preserves your rights. Do not say, I'd rather you didn't. That's weak language. Do not ask, do you have a warrant? That shifts the focus. Do not say, why? That invites debate. Just say, I do not consent to searches. Then follow it up with, am I free to leave? That question matters. It forces clarity about whether the detention is continuing. If the original reason for the stop has been addressed, prolonged detention without legal basis can become an issue later, but only if the record reflects it. Even if you have nothing to hide, consent searches can become destructive. Vehicles can be torn apart, personal belongings can be damaged, and if nothing is found, you don't get compensated for inconvenience. You protect yourself by refusing consent calmly and clearly. Now let's move to trap number 4. Movement mistakes. Movement creates fear. Fear creates justification. From an officer's perspective, sudden movements can signal danger. Whether that perception is accurate or not, it affects how the encounter unfolds. So treat your behavior like a checklist. Keep your hands visible. On the steering wheel if you're driving, move slowly, deliberately, narrate your actions. If your registration is in the glove box, say, my registration is in the glove box. I'm going to reach for it now. Then move slowly. If there's something sensitive in the glove compartment, such as a legally owned firearm, communicate before moving. Officer, the documents you requested are in the glove box. There is a licensed firearm inside. How would you like me to proceed? Do not touch a firearm in the presence of an officer. Even if instructed, extreme caution is necessary. Sudden access to a weapon can escalate a situation instantly. If you are ordered out of the vehicle, comply. Courts have long recognized officer authority to order drivers and passengers out during lawful traffic stops for safety reasons. You may not like it. You may feel it's unnecessary, but refusal can lead to physical removal and additional charges. Compliance with physical commands does not waive your verbal rights. You can step out and still say, I plead the fifth. You can stand on the roadside and still say, I do not consent to searches. Passengers also need to understand you cannot simply walk away during an active stop. Even if you believe you did nothing wrong, the law treats occupants as seized for the duration of the stop. Avoid rummaging through the car when an officer approaches. Don't reach under seats. Don't make sudden gestures. If you choose to record, which in many places is lawful, Do so in a non-threatening manner. Hold the phone steadily. Avoid aggressive movements. The goal is documentation, not provocation. Control your body, control your tone, reduce unnecessary escalation. Finally, trap number 5, and this is the one that catches people off guard. Silence is not always enough. Many people think that if they simply stop talking, they are protected. But courts have distinguished between mere silence and clearly invoking the right to remain silent. If you want the protection of the Fifth Amendment, you should clearly say so. Say it out loud. I plead the Fifth. I am invoking my right to remain silent. I want a lawyer. Am I free to leave? These statements create clarity. They eliminate ambiguity. They place your invocation on the record, whether on body camera footage or your own recording. Don't try to be clever. Don't rely on subtlety. Don't assume silence alone will protect you in every context. State your rights clearly. If you remember only 2 phrases from this entire video, remember these. I plead the Fifth, and I do not consent to searches. Those 2 sentences can dramatically reduce your legal exposure during a roadside encounter. Let's recap the 5 traps. First, the roadside debate trap. Don't argue on asphalt, save it for court. Second, the small talk trap. Friendly questions are investigative tools. Become a calm, broken record. Third, the consent trap. Never give sloppy answers. Clearly refuse searches. Fourth, the movement trap. Sudden actions create fear. Slow down, narrate, comply physically. Fifth, the silence trap. Don't rely on quiet alone. Clearly invoke your rights. Encounters with law enforcement, especially immigration enforcement, are high-stress situations. Your brain will want to explain, defend, justify. That instinct can hurt you. Preparation beats panic. Know your words before you need them. If this breakdown helped you understand how these encounters unfold and how to protect yourself calmly and legally, make sure you support the channel. Share this video with someone who needs it. These conversations matter, and if you want to be even more prepared, check out my other video explaining what to do if immigration officers come to your home, because the rules at your door are different from the rules on the road. Stay informed, stay calm, and remember, your rights only work if you use them properly.